Am I the a-hole for posting about my 29 female engagement and pregnancy on Facebook, despite knowing that my ex 32 male is struggling with infertility? Hi all. I've kind of accepted that I might be the a-hole here, but my fiance says I'm not. I wanted a second opinion. For context, my ex Kevin, 32 male, and I have a child together that I put up for adoption when I was 22. I did it largely because I didn't want to have a child with Kevin. He had a really bad temper, he was pretty irresponsible, and neither of us had steady jobs at a time. I supported us through freelance writing, but being pregnant meant that I didn't get many of the jobs I had before. I knew that neither of us would be good parents, and that relinquishment was the right choice. But if he had told me he wanted to keep the child, I wouldn't have fought him on that. When the time came, he signed the relinquishment papers without argument. Our daughter is now 7, and she seems very happy with her adoptive parents. So while the situation does still cause me pain every once in a while, I can't complain about the outcome. Kevin and I eventually broke up when he cheated on me with his current wife, Stacy, 25 female. I wasn't that torn up about it because we were honestly only staying together because of the trauma we both shared. I have since found stable work as a software engineer and recently bought a house with the extra money. My fiancé Lex, 34 male, knew this about me from the first time we met. Thankfully, it wasn't a deal breaker for him. We started dating when I was 27, I'm 29 now, and he proposed about a month ago. I accepted. Then we found out I was 3 months pregnant about a week after he proposed, which was a shock to both of us because I'm on long-term birth control. Despite the circumstances, we're overjoyed and have decided to keep the baby. Since we already passed the first trimester before we discovered I was pregnant, we decided to announce the engagement and the pregnancy at the same time. My ex flipped out. He got my number from my mom and started blowing up my phone. He told me that I forced him to put our child up for adoption. I didn't, and that I don't deserve to have a child now, knowing that I abandoned our firstborn. I blocked him, he bought burner phones. Then his wife started getting in on it, vacillating between crying and screaming at the voicemail she sent. It got so bad I had to change my number. Lex is telling me that all of this is bananas, and that if Kevin was really ready to become a parent, he would have put his foot down when the time came. My mother, on the other hand, says that I should be more compassionate towards them. A part of me doesn't want to be compassionate towards either of them. As selfish as this seems, I feel like I was the one who primarily struggled with the adoption, and like Kevin didn't support me at all through the entire event. I also have to admit I knew about their infertility struggles and didn't care. Am I the a-hole here, guys? I don't think any of this would have happened if I didn't announce it on Facebook. Now for the top comments. Honestly, OP, I am very glad that you made the right decision to get your first child adopted. A child deserves a stable home and parents who can take care of him or her. Your current pregnancy is none of Kevin's business. As for your mother, you better tell her clearly that she's not to give out your number to anyone without your consent. Kevin sounds like both him and his wife need serious therapy. Their infertility is their problem, not yours. Congrats on a new baby and best wishes. I want to send them a text being like, and now we all know why I decided to give our child away, but that feels mean-spirited. No, don't waste your time, OP. Kevin is not part of your life anymore. The guy has serious problems. You have changed your number and now you need to concentrate on your own pregnancy and make sure you stay healthy. You have your own life now. She also needs a restraining order against X and his wife because they don't sound like the most well-balanced beings on the planet. Not the a-hole, but I'd get a restraining order against Kevin and his wife and tell your mom to stay out of your business. Ditto. The burner phones and voice messages are stalking behavior. Your safety could be compromised. Also, you are allowed to announce happy things going on in your life. Their response is about them. They're just looking to blame you. Finally, congratulations on the engagement and pregnancy. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé he committed theft by gifting his nephew the gift I bought for my sick brother? My female 30 brother, male 16, was born with a heart condition that prevented him from living his childhood to the fullest and doing his favorite activities. He can't do most things due to his condition and the side effects his medications have on him. My parents have always struggled with money because of medical bills, and unfortunately they cannot afford to buy my brother nice things. For example, he always wanted a console to play with. He only gets to play when my uncle and cousins visits and bring their console. My brother has been feeling sad and lonely recently after his doctors recommended that visits be limited. I decided to use my salary to get him his own console and wait till Christmas to give it to him. I bought an Xbox and it has been sitting in my closet until I discovered that my fiancé took it and sent it to his nephew who lives states away. I was in dismay. I confronted him about it, asking why he took the Xbox, knowing it was supposed to be a gift for my brother. He said he knew, but explained his sister's single mom and couldn't buy any gifts for her son. Nor are they receiving gifts from family since they're all ignoring her after giving her money, so they think they've done enough. He told me he felt sorry for his nephew and wanted to cheer him up, but didn't have money, so he thought that he could send him the Xbox, and then we'll figure out what I'm going to gift my brother together. I told him he had no right to touch the Xbox, and said that what he did was theft, which made him upset and somewhat shocked. He said he was very hurt I essentially called him a thief, when he thought that I cared about our nephew as much as he does. I'd explained my brother does not need the Xbox since he can't find time to play due to his condition, and also not finding playmates also due to his condition. I told him my brother was still capable, and he was making it seem as if he wasn't, but he argued he didn't mean it this way. Just that he was hurt I called his good deed theft. But I stood by what I said and demanded he either pay for the Xbox or pay me. But he acted more hurt, calling me careless and mean to take a gift from a child like that. But I said I didn't gift his nephew this device, and so it is not my problem. He gave me complete silence and then went to stay at a hotel for 3 days, saying I was being unfair to him and hurt him deeply. The problem still stands, and he is counting on me to let it go and see that he was just helping a sister and nephew out. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. How can he afford a hotel for 3 days but not an Xbox? This was my first thought. My second is file a police report. OB, file a police report. Seriously. Also, call the sister and tell her that the Xbox is not a gift for her son, and if she doesn't return, you'll file against her for receiving stolen property. Then break up with your boyfriend, as he has no respect for you. He stole your stuff and insulted your brother. He thinks his family's more important than yours. Not stay home. Demand the money back. And you're not taking a gift from a child. He was the one who took a gift from your brother. Also, if he can afford to stay in a hotel for a few days out of pettiness, he can definitely afford to pay for his nephew's presents. That last bit. How can you not have money for a gift but you can go stay at a hotel? Even without the rest of the foolishness is saying that makes him the a-hole. You're definitely not the a-hole, OB. Not the a-hole. You should seriously rethink this relationship. Your fiancé is a thief and now is trying to gaslight you. Red flags. And pretty freaking ableist, thinking a child with a heart condition is too disabled to 1. Have friends, and 2. Enjoy video games. He thinks his non-disabled nephew is more deserving of an expensive gift. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not paying for my date? So me, 26 male, and Kyla, 24 female, matched on a dating app. We messaged a few times, but nothing really happened from it. Couple months later, we see each other at a mutual friend's wedding. We talk most of the night and have a great time. I ask for Kyla's number from our mutual friend. We text for a few weeks and eventually make plans to meet. We have plans to meet for drinks, and she cancels last minute. Basically, 10 minutes before we are set to meet for dinner, Kyla tells me something came up and can't make it. I tell Kyla it's fine, and she starts taking longer to text, is short and less engaged. Eventually, Kyla quits responding and I move on. A week later, she calls to apologize and asks if we can meet up again. I agree only because my friend's new wife convinced me. Date comes and it started off rocky. Kyla showed up late saying traffic was bad. She brought up her past relationships constantly and it made me uncomfortable. She did apologize for canceling the first date, saying she was nervous. She also had multiple drinks at a shot. I only had 2 drinks. She was also on her phone. Not the whole date, but enough for me to notice. Things weren't going well and the conversation was stiff. When the bill comes, they ask how we're doing it, and I say split it. Kyla looks at me and says, I didn't actually bring my wallet. At this point, I'm just done, and says, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying, and I don't think this is gonna work. I paid my bill and left while Kyla sat there. My friend's wife calls me that night yelling at me, calling me an a-hole. I guess Kyla's sister had to come bring her money, and I've been called an a-hole by some of the friend group. Am I? Not an a-hole. What kind of idiot doesn't bring any money at all to a date? It was really presumptuous of her to expect you to pay in the first place. Not bringing her wallet is just downright manipulation. Good for you for sticking to your guns. I am 33 and from my experience in dating during my generation, Whoever invites the other out is the one who is expected to pay. Expected is in quotes because it is not a requirement. Not only is Opie not an a-hole, she invited him out this time and should have paid herself if the check was not split. Not an a-hole. Edit. The word expected was in quotes because I couldn't think of another word to use, but splitting is still the standard. If anyone pays for the whole thing, it's the inviter. This isn't required but is polite. That being said, it isn't impolite to split either. Not an a-hole. Nobody should show up to a date without money to pay their fair share. Exactly. And at 24, it's easy to be mistaken for 20. How do people go out drinking without identification? Not an a-hole. Nobody forgets their wallet. If I cancelled on someone at the last minute, I would welcome the chance to treat them. Edit. If she had her phone, she could have offered to Venmo or Cash App. Yep, I don't understand why no one brought up Venmo. If I'd honestly forgotten my wallet or card, I'd just tell my dates as soon as I realized and ask if I could Venmo them if they're able to cover the tab. Then there would be no a-holes. Next story. Am I the a-hole for being an ungrateful, spoiled brat for the Christmas gift my husband got me? I, female 35, want to begin by saying that in every holiday, me and my husband, male 33, we both work decent jobs, set separate budgets for gifts. He uses his own money to buy gifts and I do the same. We've been married for almost a year, together for 3, and this is our first Christmas as married couple. He made a list of every person he wanted to buy a gift for. I stumbled upon this list by accident and out of curiosity, decided to take a look. I found that his friends/coworkers were on top of his list with gifts that cost over $5,000 total. For example, he got a $600 wristwatch for his coworker, a $250 bracelet for his sister-in-law, and a $900 workout gear for his friend. There was more, but that's all I could remember. What made me upset was that when I got to my name, I saw that he bought me a $20 something kitchen spoon set, stainless steel. I was too shocked to ignore this, and I had a confrontation with him about it. He argued that A, it's his money, he's the one paying, so I should not control that, and B, his coworker/friends are important to him and has known them for ages. C, he said a gift should be appreciated no matter what it cost. I argued that he was disrespecting me and dismissing my feelings with the gift he chose to get me, not to mention that I spent a lot of money for his gifts to buy him his favorite shoe/gaming brands. But he got upset and said I was acting like an ungrateful spoiled brat and urged me to get rid of this attitude and accept what I'm giving. The argument got worse and we stopped talking to each other. He still says I'm being ridiculous with my overreaction and should stop. Did I overreact? Now for the comments. There's still time to return his gifts and get him a $20 gift card to the local home improvement store. Not an a-hole. Yep, it would be one thing if she was a spoon collector, and while cheap, the set was unique and interesting, or just something she really wanted. He's putting no thought into it. He gave her what you'd give someone you didn't know that well as a housewarming gift. Also, it's a kitchen utensil, so he's buying something for the house rather than something his wife personally likes. Girl, if you're gonna be the last thing on his priority list, better give him nicely wrapped divorce papers this Christmas. Not stay home. This right here. He basically give you a box of red flags for Christmas. Take the hint and kick this guy to the curb. Not stay home. I'm stunned reading that the most important person in his life is worth less thoughtfulness than a coworker, which can come and go. In most marriages, assets are considered jointly, and spending decisions are made jointly as well within a certain limit. His Christmas spending, even with a huge income, seems very excessive to me, and kinda inappropriate/unprofessional, especially if they can't reciprocate on that level. I'd question if the coworker is just a coworker. I want to know how many of these people he's sleeping with. $900 on a coworker? Last story. Am I the a-hole for not getting my friend a $200 gift and making her feel unloved? My 28 male friend, 27 female, is usually a very kind person. But we recently got into a stupid argument and I wanted to post it here. My friend is obsessed with the 5 love languages. She always asks people what their love language is, and she does her best to show love by using your love language. She says that her love language is receiving gifts, so everyone should put a lot of thought into her gifts. I thought I put a good amount of thought into her gift. She likes this one brand of artisan coffee from a local shop. So I bought her a big bag of that coffee from the store and a nice mug to go with it. It cost about $45 in total. We did our gift exchange 1 week ago and she seemed disappointed when she opened her gift. I asked her what was wrong, and she asked how much I spent on the gift. I told her the price, and she said she expected a nicer gift, preferably about $200. She said that my cheap gift meant that she felt unloved, because receiving gifts is her love language. That admittedly pissed me off. I called her selfish and materialistic, and took the coffee and mug from her. I figured if she didn't want it, she shouldn't have it. I left without opening my gift, and now we haven't spoken in a few days. Am I the a-hole? She clearly thinks I am, but I think she's more of the a-hole here. Not the a-hole. Those who have gift giving as their love language don't care about its monetary value but about its thoughtfulness and meaning. And your gift was very thoughtful. She's just a materialistic a-hole. Just this. Your friend's explanation of my love language is gifts and then demanding expensive gifts as a means to show your love back is just utter BS. I'd be curious to know just how kind she is in other regards. And I'll be honest here, I'd look at the examples very carefully to see if it's really a case of manipulation rather than true kindness. Agreed. She gives off the vibe of, I did all these nice things for my friends, so I deserve nice gifts. So entitled. I'm so happy took the gift back. Not stay home. She's ridiculous. And one of the many people who weaponize the love languages concept instead of using it for its intended purpose. See also, giving gifts isn't my love language, so you're not allowed to expect gifts from me ever. Tell her your love language is brand new cars. Exclusively. Anything pre-owned would be a slap in the face.